You got more dye in that beard than Diddy wears.
All right, that's enough.
And I know.
That's enough.
I seen him. He shows me behind the curtain.
That's enough. All right, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit this out.
But still,
Put
a note on it. You can edit that one.
We have the latest from federal court in the Sean Combs criminal case. Status of jury selection, what Diddy's going to be wearing, violation of a gag order, rejecting a plea offer.
This is going to be such a massive trial, like maybe the biggest Hollywood trial. God knows which way it's going to go. Are they gonna? Is it gonna go on for weeks? And
for sure, weeks.
The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now.
What happens is if people go into a trial believing the firepower on the prosecution is so strong, I mean, let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, it's a 95 that it's so strong, but it goes down to an 88. That helps the defense, because everybody goes in thinking, wow, they're going to prove this, and they're going to prove this, and they're going to prove this, and all of a sudden, none of it's there. I think that actually helps the defense.
He knows the deck is stacked against him. They've got a ton of evidence. Take the plea deal, dude. Just take it.
Well, my guess is that, because we don't know the deal of the plea deal. At least I don't think we do.
True.
Okay.
What made you come here to support Puff?
I'm supporting Puff because he's innocent, and I'm wholeheartedly believing his innocence, and I know he's innocent. So
you say you know he's innocent?
1,000%.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings.
Well, Bill and Sade, accepting a plea agreement would mean that Sean Combs would have to admit to trafficking and force. And today he made it very clear that was not going to happen. Diddy maintained all along these encounters involved consenting adults and plans to take his chances that a jury agrees.
Back up a little bit, please.
How can you support your father? How do you support him moving forward?
This is lawyers argue the evidence shows consenting adults being intimate in their own way.
This coming week is that there is, at least anecdotally, when I talk to people, they have that opinion, strongly held opinion, that there's celebrity tapes, that they've kind of conflated Epstein, and you mentioned Ghislaine Maxwell and all of these things into Diddy. There's this idea that somehow this is Epstein redux or something.
Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to... When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted. Plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars. A magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances.
I think he probably is the only person I know of who might be able to actually accomplish that.
Elaborate, sometimes days-long parties by coercing victims through drugs, threats, and manipulation. They claim to have video evidence, and some of the accusations echo details from over 70 civil lawsuits filed against Combs over the last 30 years.
Do you still think that, because there is this public perception, that there are celebrity tapes involved in this case?
No.
Do you still think that there are minors involved in this case?
I'm certain no.
Okay.
And again, when you say this case, we're talking the criminal case.
The criminal case.
In the
correct.
criminal,
I know that.
In the criminal case, no.
Courtroom by the U.S. Marshals. Now, his lawyers have vowed to fight this. They are going to be back in court on Wednesday before the judge who will oversee this trial and try to get Diddy to be released. Diddy, who was sitting at the defense table with his attorneys, did not show any signs of emotion. He took a sip of water before he was led out of the...
Racketeering and charges beginning Monday morning.
Would you be open to a plea bargain?
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening. He believes that he needs to stand up, not just for himself, for his family, because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent. And what's more?
Prosecutors said that he could not be trusted, that he has a history of trying to intimidate witnesses, including some who are going to be witnesses in this case. They urge the judge to remand him.
What happens when one of the most powerful figures in music faces the fight of his life, staring down federal charges that could crumble an empire? This isn't just a courtroom drama. It's a seismic event shaking Hollywood to its core, forcing allies to flee and secrets to surface. The trial everyone thought might never happen is now just days away, promising revelations and risks that have the entire entertainment world on edge. The man at the center of this storm made a move recently that shocked observers. He stood in court, dressed in a simple beige uniform, and flatly rejected the government's offer to plead guilty. Think about that, turning down a deal that could potentially shorten a prison sentence if convicted. This wasn't the defiant, larger-than-life figure the world knows. This was a man saying, "No, I do not accept," when asked about the offer by the judge. His legal team is adamant. He believes he's innocent, and he's ready to fight these charges head-on in front of a jury. It's a massive gamble, putting everything on the line against the full might of the federal government. The accusations against him are incredibly grave, painting a picture far darker than any public image. Federal charges now include racketeering, trafficking, and, critically, counts related to SA and ST, added in a later indictment. These aren't minor claims. Prosecutors allege a cross-country operation using shell companies and private jets, moving millions of dollars, weapons, and narcotics. They claim he directed associates to intimidate rivals and silence potential witnesses. When initially taken into custody, a magistrate judge denied him bail, voicing concern that these alleged crimes happened behind closed doors and citing worries about him potentially influencing witnesses. At the heart of the defense strategy is the assertion that any encounters were between consenting adults. His lawyers plan to argue this point vigorously at trial, likely presenting him in ordinary clothes rather than a uniform to humanize him before the jury. But the defense faces a major hurdle: battling the sheer volume and nature of the evidence prosecutors claim to possess. A key fight is brewing over digital evidence seized from his properties, and notably, the servers belonging to his iconic record label, Bad Boy Entertainment. His legal team argues investigators exceeded the warrant's scope, trying to get this evidence thrown out. It's a critical battle that could reshape the entire trial. As the legal storm intensifies, Hollywood is bracing for impact, and many are running for cover. The sheer brand risk associated with this case is enormous, according to industry insiders. Famous faces who once collaborated with him or were seen as allies are suddenly facing intense scrutiny. Even someone as prominent as Mark Wahlberg reportedly issued a stark warning, advising fellow entertainers in Los Angeles to keep their distance from the courthouse, calling it a storm they cannot control. He reportedly emphasized how hard he worked to build his own reputation and doesn't want anyone stepping near this case. This widespread fear isn't just talk, it's leading to concrete actions across the industry. Publicists and entertainment lawyers are reportedly giving stern advice to clients. Avoid commenting on the case entirely, skip red carpets where they might be asked about it, and definitely don't show up in the courtroom gallery. Some artists who once collaborated with him are reportedly scrubbing photos with him from their social media profiles. Talent agencies have confirmed that emerging rappers have even withdrawn from summer tours because of the potential for online backlash linked to any perceived association, no matter how informal. The ripple effect is undeniable. The financial fallout and pressure on his business empire are just as dramatic. His media company, Revolt, is reportedly feeling the heat, with a scheduled $12 million investment infusion paused until legal milestones pass. High-profile partnerships are dissolving or being delayed. The French luxury house DIO reportedly ended negotiations for a marketing reboot of the vodka brand he helped popularize, due to projected sales softening. Even his apparel line, Sean John, delayed a planned release. The music industry itself is reacting. Streaming giants like Spotify and Apple Music have reportedly removed curated playlists or added content advisories related to his work or label, while radio stations are said to be reducing his spins. Event promoters like Live Nation are reportedly adding morality clauses to new contracts, allowing them to cancel performances if artists become material witnesses in his case. Nobody, it seems, wants to repeat past controversies. Meanwhile, key insiders are reportedly cooperating with prosecutors, adding another layer of complexity and danger. Reports claim that former Bad Boy executive Harve Pierre has agreed to cooperate, potentially providing substantial contemporaneous records of financial transfers. Another individual, reportedly a former tour accountant named Crystal Flores, has also allegedly provided ledgers documenting cash distributions and private jet use, claiming to have witnessed routine off-book advances exceeding millions in a single quarter. While his defense team reportedly dismisses some of these accounts, this kind of insider testimony can be incredibly damaging in court. On the legal maneuvering front, his defense isn't standing still. Beyond challenging seized evidence, they're reportedly fighting to separate the SA and ST counts from the broader racketeering indictment, arguing it could prejudice a jury. They are also pushing for a change of venue, claiming pervasive social media bias in Los Angeles makes a fair trial there impossible. They've even reportedly requested an anonymous jury, citing concerns about potential juror intimidation given the case's profile. The sheer scale of public fascination is creating unprecedented logistical challenges for the justice system itself. Court officials in Los Angeles are reportedly drafting overflow plans for media and spectators, anticipating crowds potentially rivaling the infamous O.J. Simpson civil trial in 1996. Extra security funds and metal detectors are being requested. The difficulty of finding an impartial jury in this media-saturated environment is a significant concern, with jury questionnaires and screening methods needing to account for the deep public awareness and strong opinions surrounding the case. Adding to the spectacle, a trailer for an unreleased documentary titled Empire of Bad Boy, allegedly referencing sealed grand jury exhibits, reportedly leaked online and quickly racked up millions of views. Beyond the courtroom and Hollywood boardrooms, the case is sparking significant cultural and societal conversations, particularly within the Black community. Debates are reportedly unfolding in barbershops and radio call-in shows, touching on issues of loyalty, accountability, the protection of Black women, and fears about systemic targeting. Clergy members are reportedly addressing the topic from the pulpit. Advocacy groups like the Black Women's Blueprint Collective are planning public forums near the courthouse to highlight survivor voices. Legislators are even getting involved, with reports of a California Assembly member drafting a bill that could require record labels to have independent compliance officers for artist-run subsidiaries. Psychologists are warning against voyeuristic fascination with the allegations, urging media to balance coverage with resources for those affected by SA themes. It's a case that has moved far beyond the music industry, forcing a broader reckoning with wealth, power, and alleged exploitation. Unlike some past figures facing controversy, he has reportedly remained publicly silent. A strategy crisis management expert's note can have pros and cons. The days ahead promise more twists and turns. Legal battles over evidence, venue, and jury anonymity are ongoing. Key court dates are set for arguments that could shape the trial significantly. Prosecutors continue to interview potential witnesses, while the defense finalizes its strategy. Regardless of the outcome, this case has already left an indelible mark, exposing the hidden pressures within the entertainment industry and raising profound questions about accountability, legacy, and the blurred lines between success and alleged criminal activity. The world is watching to see how this story unfolds and what truths ultimately emerge from the storm. 19.5 seconds.